this video, I first summarize the first season of Blue Eye Samurai, and at the end, I share my opinion and review about it. My goal is offering valuable insight into this movie. So, spoilers ahead. Episode 1. In the 17th century, those of mixed heritage are treated as outcasts in Japan, deemed less than human by society. Among them is Mizu, a blue-eyed warrior forced into a life of secrecy and shame. Determined to uncover the truth of their origins, Mizu embarks on a relentless quest for vengeance, hunting down the 4 white men who were in Japan at the time of their birth, one of whom must be responsible for their existence. With Violet, one of the 4, already dead by their hand, Mizu presses forward, driven by the need to find and eliminate the remaining 3. Mizu enters a noodle shop where a ruthless flesh trader, Hai, is tormenting Ringo over his disability and eventually pulls a gun on him. Mizu calmly intervenes, questioning Hai about the weapon's origin. When Hai refuses to answer and turns the gun on Mizu, they swiftly sever his fingers with a knife. Terrified and in pain, Hai reveals that he obtained the gun from a black market dealer named Hai Shindo. While praying at a shrine, Mizu reflects on their difficult past. As a child in Koha, they were relentlessly bullied for their blue eyes, especially by one cruel boy. During a life-threatening encounter, just as the bully was about to strike Mizu with a rock, an asteroid unexpectedly crashed nearby, scaring the bullies away. Still on the ground, Mizu watched as Master Eiji, a blind swordmaker, arrived. With Mizu's help, he took the fallen asteroid to his forge. Over time, Mizu became his apprentice, training with the swords they crafted. Despite discovering Mizu's blue eyes, Eiji accepted them without hesitation. Now in Kyoto, Mizu heads toward the Shindo school and briefly crosses paths with Princess Kyoka, who is on her way to convince her father, Lord Dai, to approve her engagement to the samurai Taigen. At the Shindo school, Mizu insists on meeting Master Shindo despite repeated refusals. Their persistence escalates into a fight with the school's swordsman, whom Mizu easily defeats using a wooden sword, and even their own dislodged teeth as projectiles. As the overwhelmed students face imminent defeat, they call upon the school's strongest warrior, Tegan, interrupting his engagement celebration with Akemi. During their battle, Tegan knocks Mizu down, and in that moment, Mizu recognizes him as the childhood bully from Koha. Realizing who Mizu is, Tegan leads them outside for a proper duel. However, Mizu quickly gains the upper hand, pinning Taigen to the ground, until Master Shindo arrives, halting the fight. Master Shindo, compelled to answer Mizu's question about his brother Hai, discloses the location of Hai's heavily fortified castle. Seeking to cleanse their wound, Mizu heads to a secluded waterfall. After confirming they are alone, they let their hair down, remove their clothes, and begin washing. As they relax in the water, the sudden sound of approaching footsteps puts them on high alert. Instinctively, Mizu grabs their sword and aims it at the intruder, only to realize it's Ringo. In that moment, a shocked Ringo discovers that Mizu's blue eyes aren't their only secret. Mizu is actually a woman. Episode 2. Mizu initially rejects Ringo's help, even threatening him, but eventually agrees to make him her apprentice after recognizing his bravery and usefulness, along with his promise to keep her secret. To prevent him from sneaking up on her, she attaches a bell to his leg. Meanwhile, Tegan, embarrassed by his encounter with Mizu, who merely left him with a bald spot instead of killing him, discusses his humiliation with Akemi. She reassures him, suggesting the duel wasn't official due to his drunken state. This gives Taigen the idea to challenge Mizu to a formal duel, aiming to regain his honor by killing her.
You can't leave. He could be anywhere. It could take months to find him.
Akemi, upset that Tegan left her before their marriage, is summoned by her father, Lord Dai, to meet with the shogun's advisors. They seek a wife for the shogun's younger son, Ito Takayoshi, known for his unusual preferences. Despite Akemi's reluctance, the advisors present her with gifts, including a traditional teeth blackening kit, as Takayoshi prefers his wives to have black teeth. Horrified, Akemi begs her father to refuse the marriage, but when he insists, she decides to run away. Meanwhile, Mizu, enjoying a peaceful moment atop a mountain, is interrupted by the arrival of Hai's Four Fangs, a feared group of ruthless killers. A brutal battle ensues as Mizu uses the terrain to her advantage, taking down the Fangs one by one, their bodies falling to their deaths, showcasing her deadly skill. After enjoying the town's local noodles and watching an exciting sumo match, Ringo participates in the Hadaka Matsuri, Naked Festival. Despite being at a disadvantage, he dives into the water, emerging with the sacred Shinji stick clenched in his teeth, symbolizing that his wish to excel will be granted. Meanwhile, on the mountain, Mizu continues to fight with remarkable agility and strength. Balancing on one hand, she gives the illusion of defying gravity as she throws her sword with lethal precision, killing the last of the Four Fangs. Just as she finishes, she faces Tegan. However, before they can fight, Mizu succumbs to her injuries and falls unconscious, leaving her defenseless and at Tegan's mercy.
Prepare a tea ceremony.
No!
Episode 3. As Mizu lies injured, Tegan chooses to spare her, demonstrating his sense of honor. He entrusts Ringo with her care, ensuring she receives proper treatment. While recovering, Mizu accepts Aigen's challenge for a duel once she has fully healed. A towering man armed with a massive weapon suddenly intervenes, escorting them to a meeting with Hai. During their conversation, Mizu reassures Hai that she bears no hostility toward him. Her sole target is the white man he collaborates with. Hai discloses that the man's name is Abaja Fowler, and that he resides in a heavily fortified castle nearby, kept hidden due to the secrecy of his presence in Japan. Realizing that Fowler's trade is too valuable for Hai to simply allow his death, Mizu senses an imminent betrayal. Her suspicions are confirmed when Hai reveals his plan. An army of archers lies in wait surrounding the mountaintop. The moment he tosses a red ribbon, they will unleash a deadly volley upon her.
Get in. Get in or die now!
Reacting instantly, Mizu slashes off Hai's right hand, causing the ribbon to drop and setting off the deadly hail of arrows. As Hai escapes, Mizu and Tegan shield themselves, carefully retreating into the narrow mountain passage while arrows relentlessly strike around them. With no way out, they soon become vulnerable, suffering multiple hits as the situation turns desperate. Just in time, Ringo arrives on horseback, swiftly rescuing them and ensuring their escape, solidifying Mizu's resolve to take him on as her apprentice. As they celebrate their escape, Tegan is unexpectedly struck unconscious. When he comes to, he finds himself alone with a letter from Mizu, assuring him that their destined duel will happen, but only after she finishes her quest for vengeance. Still processing her words, Tegan is abruptly captured by the towering warrior and delivered to Fowler, who intends to extract any valuable information from him.
I'll protect you.
Episode 4. Within the walls of Madame Kaji's brothel, she discloses her awareness of Kaji's regular trips to Fowler's castle and presses for a detailed account of its layout to assist in her infiltration. However, when the conversation turns to Fowler's disturbing cannibalistic tendencies, Kaji's once welcoming demeanor grows grim. In exchange for the information, Kaji assigns Mizu the task of rescuing Kino, one of her girls, from the control of boss Hamada, the local crime boss. The objective is to kill Kino in a way that appears accidental, as any hint that Kaji is behind it would provoke Hamada's fury, endangering the rest of her girls. As Akemi journeys from town to town, relentlessly searching for Tegan, she gains hope upon spotting Mizu. Believing that Mizu, like every other man, will visit Kaji's brothel at least once, she decides to join the establishment. Prior to entering Mizu's room, Akemi poisons the sake and puts on a false smile. Just as Mizu is about to drink, Akemi mentions that she recently killed a famous samurai from Koto. This infuriates Akemi, prompting her to attempt to stab Mizu in revenge. However, Mizu quickly disarms her and restrains her. Mizu then discloses that she knows Akemi is the princess of Kyoto and admits that she never killed Tegan, which brings relief to Akemi.
You think I don't remember you? Princess Akemi of the Tokunobu clan.
Meanwhile, Taigen's situation has become so dire that death might seem like a mercy. He is being subjected to brutal torture in Fowler's dungeon. Despite the relentless pain, he refuses to reveal anything about Mizu, leaving him battered and bloodied. In the dead of night, Mizu sets out on her mission to rescue Kino. She expertly sneaks into the building, avoiding the guards, and soon locates Kino. At first, Kino is wary, haunted by the horrors she suffered under Hamada's control, but eventually, she trusts Mizu's intentions and finds comfort resting on her shoulder. With a sorrowful heart, Mizu puts an end to Kino's suffering by breaking her neck, ensuring it looks like one of Hamada's men committed the act. As she flees the scene, a young boy catches sight of her. Despite the danger, she chooses to let him go. After returning to Kaji and reporting the completion of her mission, Mizu is given a map showing the secret tunnel into Fowler's castle. However, their triumph is brief as Boss Hamada and his men burst into the brothel, ready to cause chaos, having been alerted by the same young boy.
Kill everyone, then burn it down.
Episode 5. Meanwhile, a bunraku performance unfolds, narrating the sorrowful tale of a ronin, a samurai without a master, which hauntingly mirrors Mizu's own life. As Hamada's men storm the brothel, Mizu silently takes them out one by one. However, despite her skill, she suffers injuries, causing her to reflect on the turbulent past that has continually led her into such perilous situations. She recalls a tavern fight that left her wandering the streets in search of help. To her astonishment, she encountered her mother, whom she had thought died in a fire. Now working as a courtesan, her mother had made Mizu pretend to be a boy throughout her childhood. However, her mother now seems more accepting of Mizu's womanhood and introduces her to a potential suitor, Mikio. Despite his status as a fallen samurai, Mikio doesn't mind Mizu's mixed heritage. As they begin to grow closer, Mizu opens up to Mikio about her past of pretending to be a man. Curious, he insists on witnessing her fighting abilities. During their sparring match, Mizu's enthusiasm overwhelms her, resulting in Mikio's defeat and humiliation. Hurt, he calls her a monster and leaves, breaking her heart in the process.
You are a monster.
Expecting Mikio's return and wearing makeup in anticipation, Mizu is instead confronted by a group of soldiers. This leads her to believe that Mikio may have been the one who revealed her whereabouts. Feeling deeply betrayed and unable to find a place of acceptance in such a cruel world, Mizu's spirit is crushed. She succumbs to her resentment, transforming into a vengeful figure, driven by her desire for revenge. Driven by hatred, Mizu once again eradicates all enemies around her, sparing no one, not even those who have surrendered. She throws Hamada at Kaji's feet, who shows her gratitude while Akemi and Ringo look on in shock. In a flashback, Mikio returns, only to accuse Mizu's mother of being the one who betrayed her. With her makeup smudged and filled with bitterness, Mizu leaves as Mikio kills her mother, leading Mizu to eventually take his life in retaliation. Suddenly, Daiichi's men appear with orders to bring Akemi back to her father. Expecting Mizu to intervene and protect her from the soldiers, Akemi feels betrayed when Mizu allows them to capture her and take her away. Disappointed by Mizu's lack of honor, Ringo confronts her, resigns as her apprentice, and throws his bell at her in frustration. The bunraku performance at the Shogun's palace ends with the Ronin transforming into an Shiryo. Akemi admits that she once came face to face with an Enryo, and what she saw in its eyes was pure darkness. Episode 6. Following Kaji's map, Mizu enters a hidden tunnel beneath Fowler's castle. But her journey takes a dangerous turn when she triggers a trap that floods the passage with water. Holding her breath, she expertly picks the lock and slips inside the castle. One by one, she takes out the guards until the alarm is finally raised. At the same time, Fowler and Hai are meeting with the Shogun's advisors, secretly conspiring to topple the Shogun by arranging the import of a large cache of guns from England. Although swift, Mizu is wounded when she gets caught in a crushing wall trap, a blade stabbing through her foot. She narrowly escapes the next danger, a punji spike pit, avoiding a deadly fall. Confronted by a swarm of soldiers, Mizu fights back fiercely, using their own weapons and even severed limbs against them, ultimately tossing her enemies into the pit. The following trap is even more sinister. A monkey approaches her with a beautiful flower, then suddenly sprays her with a hallucinogenic gas. As vivid hallucinations take hold, she's ambushed by a pack of monkeys with glowing red eyes. To escape the chaos, she resorts to using a grenade, blowing up the room to make her getaway. In the cell block, after battling zombie-like beings, Mizu hears the anguished voice of Taigen calling her name from within a cell. Though her main goal is to eliminate Fowler, she chooses to carry Taigen with her as she pushes onward and climbs higher. When Mizu confronts the giant, a fierce and fiery battle breaks out. The giant suffers brutal injuries. His nose is bitten off, and a sword is driven through his neck. In the end, Mizu finishes him by shoving a grenade into his neck, causing a deadly explosion that tears him apart. In the present, Juliet has Sims arrested, citing the illegal search he ordered at the sheriff's station. While in his office, she finds her mother's case file and confronts her father about her mother's fate. He reveals that her mother took her own life after the magnifier incident. He also explains he never reported her, and the raiders came because they saw her through surveillance cameras. This truth leads to a reconciliation between Juliet and her father. Despite Mizu's desperate attempt to reach the surface, she starts to drown, until Ringo, once again proving his loyalty, arrives just in time to save her at her most crucial moment.
Is it funny to torment me?
Episode 7. Ringo takes Mizu and Taigen to Master Eiji's forge, knowing that aside from himself, Eiji is the only one who would be willing to look after Mizu. Tired of his hidden life, Fowler decides to leave his castle behind. With his sinister plan in motion, he focuses on Edo, the shogun's stronghold, as his next target. Akemi engaged to Takoshi, Akemi feels overwhelmed by the bleak path her life has taken, which drives her to attempt suicide. Fortunately, Sei, the man who raised her and has always been her mentor, arrives just in time to stop her. He reassures her that there's still hope and that she can turn things around if she finds a way to win Takoshi's affection. This leads Akemi to confront Takoshi, where she learns that his harshness is the result of years of trauma and shame caused by a severe stutter. Understanding his longing for affection, Akemi cleverly wins his heart, drawing him to her.
It was an apology.
In a wide-open area near Edo, Fowler informs Hai that he has smuggled 2,000 rifles and ammunition into the country. He demonstrates their effectiveness by shooting a man in the distance, revealing that it's the Shogun's advisor, whom Fowler had uncovered as a traitor plotting against them. As Kaji and her girls arrive to attend Akemi's lavish wedding, Akemi comes up with a plan. She offers Kaji a generous payment to purchase the girls and provide them with employment, allowing them the freedom to leave if they choose. Touched by this kind gesture, one of the girls, Ie, breaks down in gratitude and warns Akemi about Fowler's looming attack. Akemi rushes Ie to her father, begging him to evacuate Edo or face certain death. To her horror, Dai pushes Ie out of the window, killing her, before capturing Akemi. He then reveals that he is aware of Fowler's attack and has decided to betray the Shogun, intending to overthrow him and take his place.
I cannot thank you enough.
Episode 8. In a dramatic display of loyalty to Akemi, Sei enters the scene, sword raised in a lethal challenge to Daichi, granting Akemi her freedom. As they try to make their way past Dai's guards, they discover that all of them have been swiftly killed, thanks to Mizu's timely arrival. Tegan and Ringo, seeking to capture the Shogun's attention, break through the front gates. Thrown before the Shogun, Taigen warns him of Fowler's approaching army, heavily armed with rifles. In response, the shogun's guards quickly close the city gates and deploy their first line of defense. However, they soon realize they are hopelessly outmatched as the onslaught of bullets from Fowler's rifles devastates their ranks, clearing the way for his forces to advance. When the city's archers begin shooting at Fowler's men, they quickly retaliate, wiping out all of them while losing only a single soldier, in stark contrast to the heavy casualties the shogun's forces have suffered. Within an hour, the entire shogun's guard is decimated, enabling Fowler to reach the shogun and shoot him in the face.
That's how they'll know.
When Fowler lines up his shot at the older son of the fallen shogun, ready to pull the trigger, Mizu makes a dramatic entrance, slicing Fowler's rifle in half. With everyone else fleeing to regroup, Taigen and Hai are the only ones left in the room. This gives Taigen the opportunity to take revenge on Hai for the torment he endured, killing him despite having the chance to escape. Akemi, choosing to come back to close the gates, ensures that all of Fowler's men are engulfed in the fierce fire that erupted in the midst of the chaos and fighting. This tactic successfully annihilates Fowler's forces and cripples his hopes of seizing power. Nevertheless, the victory is bittersweet as Akemi watches Sei take a bullet and collapse. With his dying breath, he urges Akemi, telling her that she is the only one worthy of ruling Japan. When Taigen is reunited with his beloved Akemi, he is shocked to find that she is no longer the person he once knew. She tells him that she no longer wants to run away with him, but instead intends to stay and rule within the burning palace.
I want to be great.
A violent struggle breaks out as Fowler grips Mizu tightly, nearly crushing her torso. As he realizes she is a woman, he starts to mock her. In that moment of arrogance, Mizu seizes the opportunity, landing a series of powerful knee strikes to his face, ultimately gaining control and holding him at knife point. As Fowler realizes that his life is on the line, he starts to reveal a number of secrets in an attempt to prove he is worth sparing. He discloses that the woman who raised Mizu wasn't her true mother, but a maid whom he and 3 other white men had paid to take Mizu away and conceal her after they had killed her biological mother. In an effort to prove his value, Fowler tells Mizu that although she may have found him inviolate, she will never locate the other 2 white men, Skeffington and Arley, without his assistance, as they lead far more isolated lives. He goes on to reveal that these men don't even reside in Japan but live in London instead. Ito burns in fire. Takayoshi shows gratitude for Akemi's survival. When asked about her father, Akemi says he is still alive and, with a clever smile, assures them she will take care of him. When Ringo and Taigen return to the forge without Mizu, they are forced to face the heartbreaking possibility that she didn't survive the fire. However, they remain unaware that Mizu is actually on a ship heading to London, with Fowler as her prisoner, driven by a thirst for revenge and the need to uncover the secrets of her past. And this is my review. The content of the first season of Blue Eye Samurai is shaped somewhere between the present era and a bygone history. Blue Eye Samurai blends historical setting with modern themes, using medieval Japan as a backdrop to explore issues like gender inequality, identity, foreign interference, and the clash between tradition and modernity. At its core, the story centers on a female warrior, making her character the essential starting point for any analysis. The hero of the story, much like modern cinematic protagonists, suffers because of her gender. In a patriarchal society, she is forced to pretend to be someone else in order to achieve her goal. This is made clear right at the beginning of the story. The creators tie this battle between good and evil to the telling of a mythical tale, giving the hero's journey, her passage through 7 trials, a legendary quality by presenting both narratives in parallel. This idea of the hero becoming a myth slowly develops throughout the later episodes of Blue Eye Samurai, as the individual warrior gradually transforms into a champion for the collective, ultimately saving an entire nation from destruction. It's as if her personal quest for revenge evolves into a path that benefits everyone. Ultimately, the first season of Blue Eye Samurai ends in a way that suggests the upcoming episodes will have a completely different tone, with new settings and entirely new characters. The story in Japan has come to a close, and now we see both the hero and the antagonist of the tale setting off together on a journey to England. So, all the traditional and cultural Japanese elements that played a major role in driving the story forward will likely have no place in the upcoming season. If you appreciate stories that blend brutal action with rich character development and a mythic sense of purpose, this series is absolutely worth your time. It's not just about fighting, it's about identity, grief, and what vengeance really costs.